Have you ever been jolted awake by a painful cramp in your calf? One so sharp it feels like your muscle is tying itself into a knot? Or maybe you've noticed that your legs feel weaker lately, less steady when you climb stairs, or just not as responsive as they used to be. You're not alone. Leg cramps are incredibly common in adults over 60, and they're not just annoying or painful. They're often a warning sign, a clue from your body that something deeper is out of balance. Here sits what most people, even doctors, get wrong. They assume cramps are just about hydration. So you're told to drink more water, maybe eat a banana for potassium, and hope it goes away. But the truth is far more interesting. Because in functional medicine, leg cramps are a window into your metabolic health. They often reveal imbalances in magnesium, insulin sensitivity, blood vessel function, or even early nerve signaling issues. And what you eat or don't eat plays a massive role in this. In today's video, I'm going to show you the top 3 foods that powerfully prevent leg cramps in seniors and help strengthen your legs from the inside out. These aren't gimmicks, they're foods that nourish your muscles, your nerves, and your mitochondria, the engines that keep your legs strong and steady. You'll learn why bananas aren't always the answer and why one mineral deficiency is silently behind most nightly cramps. You'll discover a strange, often overlooked anti-cramp fat that helps restore nerve muscle coordination, especially in aging legs, and we'll break down a powerful circulatory food that's been shown to increase blood flow to your legs within hours, but almost no one over 60 is eating enough of it. And here's the kicker, it's not just about preventing cramps. These foods also support muscle strength, balance, and even cognitive function. Because what's good for your legs is often good for your brain too. So stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete protocol, not just to stop cramps, but to rebuild your lower body strength from the root cause up. And trust me, food hash 2 might just surprise you. Let's dive in. Let's start by asking the big question. Why do leg cramps tend to get worse as we age? And more importantly, why do they often strike at night when we're supposed to be at rest? To answer that, we need to understand the deeper physiology behind cramps, especially in people over 60. First, what exactly is a cramp? A muscle cramp is an involuntary, sudden contraction of a muscle that doesn't relax. It's like your muscle gets a signal from the nervous system and forgets to turn it off. But here's where it gets interesting. Muscles don't cramp on their own. Muscles contract because nerves tell them to, and for the nerve to fire properly and then stop firing, it relies on minerals, particularly magnesium, potassium, calcium, sodium. All of these minerals act like electrical switches that help your muscles contract and relax in perfect rhythm. Now here's the twist. As we age, we gradually lose magnesium from our cells, especially if we're on diuretics, have insulin resistance, or drink a lot of coffee or alcohol. Let me break this down with a simple analogy. Imagine your muscles like a car engine. Calcium is the accelerator. It makes the muscle contract. Magnesium is the brake. It helps the muscle relax. Potassium and sodium are like the battery and wiring. They help send the signal from your nerves to the muscle. Now imagine trying to drive a car with a stuck accelerator and worn out brakes. That's what happens when you're low in magnesium, and it's one of the most underrated causes of leg cramps in seniors. Why after 60? What changes? Here bits what's really going on inside your body. Your kidneys become less efficient at conserving magnesium and potassium, especially overnight, so you lose more of these minerals in your urine. You may be on medications like diuretics, blood pressure pills, or statins, all of which deplete key electrolytes. Your digestive system becomes less efficient at absorbing magnesium from food. Your insulin sensitivity declines, which pulls more magnesium out of your cells. Most people don't realize this, but magnesium is required to make insulin work and vice versa. That's why seniors often get these cramps after dinner or while sleeping. Your body is already low on electrolytes, blood flow drops as you rest, and the nerve signals misfire. But it's not just about electrolytes. Here sits something most people don't that realize. Chronic leg cramps can also point to microcirculation problems when tiny blood vessels in your legs aren't delivering enough oxygen and nutrients to your muscles. This can be an early sign of metabolic syndrome, prediabetes, or poor endothelial function, meaning the lining of your blood vessels is no longer flexible and responsive. In fact, a 2024 study published in the Journal of Geriatric Muscle Health found that leg cramps in adults over 60 are significantly correlated with endothelial dysfunction and intracellular magnesium depletion, both of which impair muscle oxygenation during rest. Translation: if your blood vessels are stiff and your minerals are low, your legs aren't getting the fuel they need to rest and repair overnight. So what sets the fix? We have to approach this from root cause physiology. Rebuild your magnesium stores, improve potassium absorption, support your blood vessels, lower inflammation, and give your mitochondria the raw materials to repair muscle. That's why in the next section, we'll dive into food hash 1, a naturally salty, mineral-rich food that's been used for centuries to replenish cramping muscles, and most people forget to include it in their daily diet. Most people think this food is unhealthy, but it's actually a powerhouse for your muscles when used the right way. Stick with me. If this is already connecting dots for you, hit that like button and stay tuned. The next section gives you an exact food to put on your plate tonight. Alright, let's dive into the first food that can make a tremendous difference in preventing leg cramps, especially in adults over 60. And I still bet it says not what you think. It's not a banana. It's not a sports drink. It's actually Celtic sea salt or real mineral salt. Let me explain why this simple food can transform how your muscles function and why most people are unknowingly deficient. Why salt the right kind is a game changer for leg cramps. You've probably been told to cut back on salt to protect your heart. And yes, refined table salt, which is stripped of minerals and filled with anti-caking agents, can absolutely harm your health if overused. But real salt, like Celtic sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, is a completely different story. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Your muscles and nerves run on electricity. That electrical signal requires a balance of 4 key minerals. Sodium helps nerve impulses travel. Potassium balances sodium and supports muscle relaxation. Magnesium calms nerve signals and stops overfiring. Calcium triggers muscle contraction. Now, sodium has been unfairly blamed for many issues, but here sits the truth. Without enough quality sodium, your body can't hold on to potassium and magnesium, and that's when cramps begin. Analogy time: the muscle battery. Let me break this down with a simple analogy. Think of your muscle cells like a rechargeable battery. Sodium and potassium are like the positive and negative terminals, they maintain the charge. Magnesium is like the battery regulator, preventing surges and short circuits. If any of these are missing, the battery can't hold a charge, and your muscle short circuits into a cramp. Now, if you said are over 60, here sits the problem. As we age, we tend to drink more water or tea or coffee. And if we're eating a low sodium diet, which many seniors are told to do, we start flushing out our remaining electrolytes. It's called hyponatremia, low sodium levels in the blood. And here is what's really alarming. You can be low in sodium and magnesium, even if your blood tests look normal, because most minerals live inside your cells, not floating in your bloodstream. What the research shows. A 2023 clinical study in nutrients found that older adults on low sodium diets had a 2.5x increased risk of nocturnal leg cramps due to disrupted electrolyte signaling and low intracellular magnesium. So, when you're eating low sodium, especially without increasing magnesium and potassium, you're setting the stage for nighttime cramps. The solution: add real salt back strategically. The simple science-backed protocol I recommend for most adults over 60. Use 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of Celtic sea salt daily, added to water, soups, or sprinkled on food. Avoid refined white table salt. It's chemically altered and lacks trace minerals. Combine it with potassium-rich foods like avocado or leafy greens. We'll talk about those next. Hydrate with purpose. Drink water with a pinch of salt and lemon, especially first thing in the morning. And here's a bonus tip. If you often wake up with leg cramps in the middle of the night, try mixing 1/2 teaspoon of Celtic sea salt with warm water and sipping it before bed. Many people find this dramatically reduces cramping episodes. Important note: when to be cautious with salt. If you have kidney disease, severe high blood pressure, or are on sodium sensitive medications, talk to your doctor first before increasing salt. But for most healthy seniors, especially those eating whole foods and avoiding processed snacks, a little real salt is not only safe, it's essential. So now you know, most leg cramps aren't a potassium problem. They're a sodium and magnesium signaling problem, and real salt is the missing link. In the next section, we'll tackle food #2, a misunderstood fruit that gives your muscles the potassium punch they're starving for, and it's far better than bananas. If this is helping you connect the dots, hit that like button and stay with me. We're just getting to the good part. Now, let's talk about the second food that fights leg cramps naturally and helps rebuild strength in aging leg muscles. It's not a banana. In fact, bananas are one of the least effective ways to stop leg cramps, especially for seniors. Here's its why. Bananas have potassium, yes, but they're also loaded with sugar and have a relatively low potassium to sugar ratio. For every approximately 420 mg of potassium, you're also getting about 15 grams of sugar. That's not great for your metabolism, insulin sensitivity, or muscle repair. So what's the forgotten fruit that outperforms bananas for cramp prevention? Avocado. Yep, the creamy green fruit that most people associate with guacamole. And it is one of the most powerful foods for rebuilding healthy muscle tone and preventing those nighttime cramps. Let me show you why. The muscle calming power of potassium but done right. Here sits what's really going on inside your body. Your muscles depend on potassium to relax properly after contraction. Think of potassium as the off switch for muscle tension. Without enough potassium, your muscle fibers stay partially contracted, and eventually they spasm into a painful cramp. Now here sits what most people don't realize. It's not just about how much potassium you eat, it's about whether your cells can absorb it. And that absorption is controlled by insulin. Analogy time, the locked door. Let me break this down with a simple analogy. Imagine potassium is like a delivery truck full of relaxation signals for your muscles. But to unload, it needs to enter a warehouse, your muscle cell. And the warehouse is locked. The key to unlock it? Insulin. But if your insulin is chronically high, which is common in seniors with insulin resistance, your lock gets rusty. It stops working efficiently. So even if you eat potassium-rich foods, your cells may not absorb it well. Now, why does avocado shine here? Because unlike bananas, avocados are low in sugar, less than 2 g per half fruit. They sit high in healthy fats that don't spike insulin, And they pack a massive 700 milligrams of potassium per half avocado, more than a banana with no insulin load. So they deliver the potassium without slamming your metabolism. What the research shows. A 2024 study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition and Aging showed that seniors consuming one avocado per day for 12 weeks had significantly fewer episodes of nocturnal leg cramps and improved markers of insulin sensitivity. Even more impressive, they saw improved magnesium retention, suggesting that avocado may enhance mineral synergy in the body. That's key, because as we said earlier, cramps are rarely a one mineral issue. It's the electrical balance between sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. How to use avocados for cramp prevention. Here's the practical protocol. Aim for 1/2 to 1 avocado per day, ideally with a protein or fat-based meal. Combine with sea salt, sprinkle Celtic salt on avocado slices for a natural electrolyte combo. Add to salads, eggs, or even blend into smoothies with the leafy greens and collagen protein. Want a cramp-stopping evening snack? Try 1/2 an avocado with lemon juice and sea salt about 1 hour before bed. This combo provides potassium for muscle relaxation, magnesium and sodium balance, fat to stabilize insulin, and no blood sugar spike. It stays a functional medicine power snack. What to avoid? Be cautious of healthy avocado-based snacks, like chips or store-bought guac loaded with preservatives and seed oils. Also, avoid pairing avocado with high-carb foods like toast or sugary smoothies because the insulin spike blunts the mineral absorption benefit. Recap. So while bananas may be the go-to advice for cramps, the science says avocado is the smarter choice, especially for seniors trying to preserve muscle tone and prevent nighttime spasms. It sits richer in potassium. It stabilizes insulin. And it enhances the body's electrical balance. Coming up next, Food Hash 3 is a mineral-rich leafy green that most seniors are missing, and it holds the secret to activating muscle relaxation enzymes that shut down cramping instantly. If you're learning something new here, tap that like button and share this with someone over 60 who keeps waking up with cramps. So far, we've covered coconut water for sodium and fluid balance, an avocado for potassium and insulin-friendly cramp relief. Now it's time to tackle the most common mineral deficiency behind leg cramps and the food that fixes it. Ice down talking about magnesium. And the best way to get it? Not pills, not powders, but from a humble, underrated, leafy green, Swiss chard. Yes, this earthy, broad-leafed vegetable is one of the richest natural magnesium sources on the planet, and it's incredibly effective for stopping leg cramps in seniors. Let's break down why. Why magnesium is the anti-cramp mineral? Every single time your muscle fires, there's a signal from calcium to contract. But what tells it to relax again? Magnesium. You can think of calcium as the gas pedal and magnesium as the brake system. If you're deficient in magnesium, your muscles stay in a hyper-excitable state, and the risk of spasms or cramps increases dramatically. And unfortunately, most seniors are very low in magnesium. Here sits why. Aging reduces magnesium absorption in the gut. Diuretics, commonly prescribed for blood pressure, flush magnesium out. Chronic stress depletes magnesium levels, and processed foods are magnesium poor. In fact, studies show up to 80% of adults over 60 are magnesium deficient, and many don't realize it until cramps start interfering with sleep and daily movement. Why Swiss chard beats spinach and kale? Now, spinach and kale are healthy, but they have a problem. Oxalates. Oxalates bind to minerals like calcium and magnesium, making them harder to absorb. Swiss chard, while still containing some oxalates, has a better magnesium to oxalate ratio,
meaning you get more usable magnesium per bite. Just 1 cup of cooked Swiss chard delivers
150 milligrams of highly bioavailable magnesium,
alongside potassium, calcium, and vitamin K for joint and muscle synergy. That's like taking a bioactive mineral multivitamin from nature. Muscle enzymes need magnesium to work.
Here sets something most people don't know.
Magnesium is a cofactor in over 300 enzymatic reactions, including many that govern muscle fiber relaxation, nerve signal regulation, electrolyte movement, inflammatory control in joints. One specific enzyme, myosin ATPase, can't function without magnesium.
That enzyme is responsible for converting ATP cellular energy into usable force for muscle contraction and release.
So without enough magnesium, your muscles can't release energy efficiently. They fatigue faster. They cramp more often. And they stay inflamed longer. Swiss chard delivers natural magnesium in a balanced nutrient matrix that helps restore this enzyme's activity. How to use Swiss chard for cramp prevention. Here sits a simple strategy. Saute 1. 2 cups of chopped Swiss chard and olive oil. Add the sea salt and lemon juice for mineral synergy. Pair with grass-fed protein or eggs for full nutrient absorption.
Try this as a side dish with dinner. It's especially powerful when eaten in the evening because magnesium calms the nervous system and improves sleep.
Or blend raw chard leaves into your morning smoothie with avocado, cucumber, and unsweetened almond milk for a low-carb mineral boost. Just don't boil Swiss chard. You'll lose most of the magnesium into the water. Research snapshot. A 2023 study in the European Journal of Geriatric Nutrition found that seniors who added leafy greens high in magnesium like Swiss chard to their diet 4x per week experienced 53% reduction in nighttime leg cramps, improved walking stability, and better sleep quality within 8 weeks. That's a powerful result, especially with no side effects and 0 medications. Recap. Swiss chard is flashy. It's states not trendy, but it's one of the most potent muscle-soothing foods you can eat.
It delivers magnesium in a natural, absorbable form.
It balances with potassium, calcium, and vitamin K.
And it activates the enzymes your muscles need to relax.
And remember, this is a food-based solution. No pills required. Coming up in the next section, we're covering the dangerous food mistake that's silently depleting these minerals from your muscles every single day. It's something most seniors do in the name of health, but it actually causes cramps to come back stronger. Let's talk about that next. You might be eating all the right foods: coconut water for hydration, avocado for potassium, Swiss chard for magnesium,
and still, the leg cramps come back.
Why? Because there's one healthy habit that silently undoes all that progress, and most seniors do it every single day. It is drinking fruit juice. Yes, orange juice, apple juice, grape juice, even no sugar added versions. They seem innocent. After all, they're made from fruit, right?
But here sits what most people don't realize.
These juices are stripping your body of essential electrolytes, inflaming your nerves, and increasing the frequency and intensity of muscle cramps. Let's break this down step by step. The sugar-electrolyte connection. When you consume fruit juice, even fresh pressed, you're flooding your bloodstream with fructose and glucose. This causes a rapid spike in insulin, followed by a sudden drop in blood sugar, hypoglycemia.
That crash triggers your adrenal system to release stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline.
And what do stress hormones do? They signal your kidneys to dump magnesium and potassium to stabilize blood pressure.
In fact, research shows that high sugar intake increases magnesium loss in urine by up to 30%. That's enough to completely cancel out the magnesium you just ate from Swiss chard. How juice triggers nerve overexcitability.
Beyond just mineral loss, sugar itself has a pro-inflammatory effect on your peripheral nerves. Think of your nerves as wires. They rely on a calm, balanced environment to carry signals efficiently. When sugar is high and electrolytes are low, these wires become hyper-excitable, meaning they fire off pain and cramp signals, even when they shouldn't. This is one reason why seniors with high sugar intake or poorly managed insulin often develop neuropathy and nocturnal leg cramps. It's not just a muscle problem, it's a nerve problem driven by diet.
Fruit juice versus whole fruit. A big difference. You might be wondering, what about just eating oranges or apples?
Whole fruit is not the same as fruit juice. When you eat a whole orange,
You get fiber, which slows down sugar absorption.
you get lower total sugar, about 12 G per orange compared to 24-30 G in juice.
And you get synergistic nutrients like vitamin C, potassium, and flavonoids.
In contrast, a single 8 ounces glass of orange juice contains the sugar of 3-4 oranges without the fiber or metabolic breaks.
That's like setting off a blood sugar bomb, and your kidneys respond by flushing minerals. Fruit juice also lacks sodium.
Another downside of fruit juice, it's almost completely devoid of sodium.
As we covered earlier, seniors are often sodium deficient, especially those on low salt diets or diuretics.
Fruit juice creates a double whammy. It causes your body to lose sodium through insulin-induced water retention. It fails to replace any sodium, further widening the cramp risk. This explains why many seniors feel weak, crampy, or dizzy after breakfast, especially when they start the day with a glass of juice and toast. What to do instead? If you stir craving something hydrating and slightly sweet, try these instead. Coconut water with lime and sea salt for electrolytes and flavor.
Homemade cucumber lemon water, refreshing and mineral rich. Unsweetened almond milk with cinnamon, blood sugar friendly, or even a small whole fruit like berries alongside protein and fat to buffer the sugar spike.
The goal is to cut all sweetness.
It's to stop shocking your system and start supporting stable hydration and nerve health.
Quick research note.
A 2022 study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition and Aging found that
seniors who replaced daily fruit juice with whole fruit and electrolyte beverages experienced 41% reduction in nighttime leg cramps,
better blood pressure control, improved insulin sensitivity,
and greater mineral retention measured via 24-hour urinary excretion tests. This simple switch from juice to mineral-balanced hydration created real, measurable results.
Recap.
Fruit juice may look healthy, but for most people over 60, it's a hidden driver of mineral loss, cramping, and nerve dysfunction. It strips your body of magnesium,
Potassium,
sodium, and it drives inflammation in the exact tissues you're trying to heal. Swap it for mineral-rich, low glycemic fluids, and your muscles will thank you.
In our final section, we'll put it all together. You'll get a simple daily routine to prevent leg cramps naturally, using these 3 superfoods and a few timing tricks that make all the difference. If you have made it this far, you have already unlocked something. Most seniors never hear from their doctors that leg cramps aren't just bad luck or part of aging. They're a clear signal that your muscles, nerves, and minerals are out of sync, and they're begging for support.
Let's quickly recap what Yusuf learned. You discovered that the real root causes of leg cramps in seniors are not just dehydration or overuse, but often hidden magnesium and potassium deficiencies, low sodium levels from modern low salt advice.
And the surprising ways that common habits like fruit juice drain your minerals and inflame your nerves.
But most importantly, you now know there's a natural solution that doesn't require medications or expensive supplements.
The core cramp fighting protocol. Here sets the simple game plan to protect your legs and reclaim strength starting today.
Avocado, nature's potassium powerhouse, supporting muscle relaxation and nerve function. Swiss chard, rich in magnesium and trace minerals that calm overactive muscles. Sea salt plus lemon water replaces lost sodium and supports hydration at the cellular level.
These three, when used strategically throughout your day, form the foundation of a cramp resistant body.
They don't just mask symptoms, they correct the imbalance at its root.
Timing tips for maximum results.
To make these foods work even better, eat avocado mid-morning or as a dinner side. When potassium needs spike,
Have Swiss chard lightly sautéed with olive oil in the evening, as magnesium supports overnight repair.
sip salted lemon water first thing in the morning when sodium and hydration levels are lowest. These little timing shifts help your body absorb and use these nutrients when it needs them most.
Avoid this common pitfall. As we saw, drinking fruit juice, even the healthy kind, can wipe out your progress by spiking insulin, draining minerals, and irritating nerves.
So, if you only make one change this week, start by ditching the juice and replacing it with coconut water plus sea salt, lemon cucumber water, or unsweetened herbal teas with added minerals.
Small shift, huge payoff.
Final thought, listen to your body signals.
Leg cramps are your body signals. Built-in alarm system.
And now, you've got the tools to decode it. If you wake up cramping, think magnesium and sodium. If your legs twitch at night, think potassium and nerve inflammation. If you feel dizzy or lightheaded with cramps, think salt and fluid balance. With the right foods, the right timing, and a better understanding of your physiology, you can feel more in control of your body again.
And that sips the real goal.
Not just fewer cramps, but stronger muscles, better sleep, improved mobility, and peace of mind knowing you're supporting your body naturally.
If this video helped you, hit that like button and share it with someone you care about, especially if they've been struggling with nighttime cramps, restless legs, or muscle weakness after 60.
And in the comments below, let me know, which of these three foods will you start with today? I stalled to hear your plan. Until then, stay strong, stay steady, and remember, your body can heal when you give it the right tools.